Choose your character.
All right. Welcome back to the Geek Set Podcast, only podcast that blend hip hop culture and geek culture together. I'm your boy Deuces, and this is 1-on-1 with Deuces, the place where I speak with creators, curators, and people that you should know. And right now, man, I got somebody who I learned about during the pandemic. So I didn't know you prior to the pandemic. And this is one of the most funniest people that I've known in life. And what I love about it, and I'm giving you your flowers because we like to make sure we give people their flowers on this platform. There's multiple comedians. I'm talking about comedians that I say are drop dead hilarious. And when you ask them who is the funniest person that they know, wow, they always say Dion Lack. And wow, they always and they bring you up and they talk about your creativity. They talk about your dedication, your passion. So I know, since to the people that are watching this that are fans of All Def, that are fans of just that collective and that crew of comedians in that class, who are watching this, or even the people who are just about to get introduced to you, I want to say, man, thank you so much for what you bring to this game, what you bring to the world, your comedy and your work ethic. It is not unnoticed at all, bro.
Wow. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. So you ain't gonna say this is Dion Lack? I do it. Oh, yeah. This is Dion Lack, y'all.
Dion Lack.
He's had a fire ass intro. But then we're just like, so thank you, bro. That's it. Yeah. they're like, Deuce, who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? This guy right here, man. He's cool.
This guy right here.
You gotta figure him out. You're gonna have to search his face.
So, man, I mean, one thing, like I said, you from the Midwest like me. So I always love when I have a Midwest person on. Because it's like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? I felt like I take a personal pride, like, one of us made it or one of us did it, right? So, like I said, you moved from Dayton, Ohio to Cali, you know what I'm saying, to pursue your dreams. But what I also love about it is, like, with your hard work and seeing what you do, knowing that you also have 2 daughters and you are an active father, like, that was a lot of pressure for you. I had to be. So, like, I want to know, like, what kept you resilient to it? Like, what was your driving force that kept you on your path?
I had this conversation earlier today, and I totally believe everything happens for a reason. Mm-hmm. When I first came out here, because it's kind of a long answer. When I first came out here, I wanted to be an entertainer. Came out here in 2001, and when things don't move as fast as you want it to move, you tend to have to get behind the wheel. You got to start writing your own project. You got to start directing your own projects. You got to start editing your own projects. You got to start producing your own projects. And then when I started learning the business of show business, I ended up creating an LLC, creating a team behind Dion Lack. But I forgot why I came out here. So that's why it's been a long time. A lot of people don't know who I am, but I'm just a person. I'm a hands-on person that's like, I need for this to happen. And I know how the vision of something will die out if you don't do it now. Mm-hmm. So during this time of developing my business, I developed a relationship with my children. Okay. So my request wasn't so tug of war-ish. So you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like I had to sacrifice being on, a platform. I was actually spending time with my kids. So now that they're 16 and 11, they broke up with me. They like I got to schedule my appointment was with them. So in hindsight, I was upset. Like, damn, man, all my friends are taking off. They're getting crazy numbers. They're getting all these looks. But at the same time, I was like, I'm building my business. I'm building a relationship with my kids. And this is just me now thinking about like, wow, I thank God that it happened this way because foundation is everything. Yeah. So building the business and building the relationship with my children, I thank God that happened that way But now it's like now I get to kind of like step in front of the camera more, get out there more, and show people who I am and my bigger vision of what I'm trying to accomplish. So
yeah, because you talk about building a team a lot. Like, as I was doing my research, one of the things that you talked about was building that team with Lactose Entertainment and everything,
yeah.
right? And so as we see you grow, with two studios, like two, right? No, two, right? Or three?
I don't know.
Studio.
I think I got two.
You got two, right?
Two minimum.
Got two minimum, right? But also, seeing that like now, your daughters is getting in the business, like they're coming into their own, and it's a part of the team as well. So it's like it's that family base as well that's within it. But then also your peers, you guys are so close. Like there was multiple interviews where I'm checking out where you're talking to some of your peers, but the stories that you guys are telling go back 10, 15 plus years and everything, right? So it is that seeing you and Chaz conversate about how you guys both was helping each other, how you guys had similar walks of life where you jumped, you were in comedy, you stepped back to kind of build your foundation, and now you're trying to get back into, jumping back into the front of the screen. So it's like it's been really dope to see that like having a tribe is so important to success.
Yes.
Yeah,
because two things that struck when you said that. Hollywood is all about relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
People don't care how talented you are. That's very important. You're talented. People don't care how talented you are. They care about, do I want to work with you or not? Are you fun to work with?
Yeah.
If your name is ass, if your name is, hey man, I don't give a damn how many accents he can do. I just don't like working with him. He's bad to the producers. He's bad to the PAs. And it's like, I don't know. Who else we got to look for? So relationships are huge. But also, this sounds so cliche, but literally believing in yourself without the affirmations of others is huge. I know many talented people who have no followers. I mean, who doesn't follow nobody because they don't want to. They're like this because you're not comparing your talent yourself to other people. And so I know a lot of people that remove comments and blocks because they don't want what they post determine if they're good enough or not. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been a couple of times that I post a video that I spent 13 hours editing. Come out, got 13 views. He's like, whoo, how's the algorithm? I started believing to myself, like, oh, this ain't for me. I don't know if I got what it takes. So it's that believing in yourself and believing that this is it. Sometimes you gotta post and get off.
Yeah, you got to be like a ninja, like all right, let's get out of here.
Whatever happens, happens. Whatever happens when that post happens.
Right. But but that's the thing is like, you are one of the people like that I say did the pandemic well, right? Because like, you think about it this way, like the pandemic showed us the amount of creativity that people have in this world, right?
Yeah.
And there were so many long form content that helped us start figuring out different fandoms, right? So I remember seeing you on Zooming with the homie. Shout out to the homie Tahir.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is that? I was like, because dog is hilarious, right? Because I was like, man, it was just constant joke. But it was just like the way, like it's like if it's there, Dion's gonna grab it. But it was so dope to see. And then when seeing you do stuff like Wording is Hard, or seeing you on on Squadcast, popping in, and then seeing you on Daddy's Issue, it was just like, yo, Dion is one of those dudes, right?
Man,
but then I feel like that's when we started seeing more, right? Because then people started going back, started seeing more of your sketches after I started following. I'm like, yo, I did not know it was this. But it was dope to see. Like I said, it was really dope to see. So how much do you equate like right now? Like how do you feel that you fared during pandemic? Like for you?
So I would say it did me well financially because me being an editor, everybody sent me projects to edit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I had to have a balance of like, I need to take advantage of everybody's in front of a camera. So what
Right.
can I do to push my face and talent forward, push my brand? It was really difficult because, like, yes, people were asking me to write, direct, produce. Dion knows how to do it. I don't know how to do any of this. But it was like, wait a second. Everybody is stuck in front of a camera. This is your time to shine.
To learn.
Let's
Yeah.
knock out as many things as you can as possible and show people that, hey, let's collaborate with sketches via, FaceTime, via iPhone. We're doing fake sketches, doing a bunch of like virtual podcasts, and you can just see the numbers and people of interest growing, and it was exciting to see that.
Yeah,
So,
and you had said something in one of the research out there. You was like, one of the worst things that you have is that you're good at stuff that you don't want to do.
Yeah,
right. And I'm like, yo, because so I do graphic design, but I did graphic design out of a necessity of I felt like when I was an artist, and I'm still an artist, but when I was like really just that was my sole thing, I was like, man, I feel like people are overcharging me when I need a flyer or a CD cover. So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna teach myself. So then I taught myself. And then I got good to the point where people started asking me, like, yo, who did that? Can you do that for me? And I'm like, sure, I got you. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, you know what? I felt people was overcharging me, so I'm not gonna overcharge people. But then I got so good at it that I was like, I don't really like graphic design. Like I did it out of the necessity, and it comes in handy. Like when I'm doing this, like when I'm doing like creating stuff for a geek set, but I'm just like, I don't want to do this as a profession.
Right. Yeah. That's your prostitution right there. That's your right. That's like, damn it, I gotta get back on this street, man.
Right. But hey, you know what's funny? When money get low, that's old faithful. I'm like, let me just put it out there real quick. Hey, I'm back to doing graphic design.
I got a special. You ain't got no special. This is your actual rate. This is your actual rate. Hey, I got a holiday special. Let me know what your boy talking about.
So I want to take it back. I want to take it back some because you have under your belt a best Super Bowl commercial for Doritos. Yeah. Now that's not something a lot of people can say.
No.
But and so now now this, I don't know if it was misconstrued in the text or not, because now I want to get clarity on it. Because I was looking up and you was talking about how you got the role. And you were saying that you was working with a buddy who, and it said when you were an extra on Fast and Furious 4. Now, were you the extra or were your buddy the extra?
You've done your research.
Oh, I take this serious.
I don't have.
I know we be joking straight out of the comic book.
How
I do this.
I have no idea how and where you found that, but I appreciate you. Yes, my guy. I forgot his name. Jules. We call him Jules. I can't think of his last name. Oh, Jules De Jesus. De Jesus. Okay. We were on Fast and the Furious 4. This is so crazy. No one has not asked me this in 10 years.
Hey,
because after a while we became friends. So we just forgot about how we met. Fast and Furious 4, 2 extras in the club scene of the reboot. It was kind of like the reboot, because right after Tokyo Drift, and it was like all the original members are back. So this is gonna be exciting. So I seen Paul Walker, I seen Vin Diesel, and during the break, he was like, "Dude, this can't be it, man. This can't be it." And he was like, "I got a bunch of projects, man, that I want you to be a part of, man. You are super funny, man. Just super naturally funny, and I want you to be a part of it." I was like, "Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it." And it went from like small, like parking enforcement sketches to like Ego commercials. None of this stuff got aired. Then one time I was like, hey man, if you ain't gonna post this stuff.
Right. Like, hey, I'm doing a lot of work here, man.
Trust me, bro. This one right here, just the one. I got an idea for a Doritos commercial. And I remember him bringing it to the idea. If you know writing, 3 pages is not 30 seconds.
Right.
Commercials are 30 seconds. So I said, man, we got to shape this. We got to figure this out. We got to cut some fat. So we are writing it back and forth, developing it, and I was like, let's just get right to it, man. Let's get right to it. And we wrote that mug. We cast it. We had like a little sit-in, and we went to like Craigslist and found some people. So everybody that's on the thing was from Craigslist. This was his first directing job. So I'm technically got writing and acting credit for that. But it was his idea, but we just shaped it and wrote it. Mm-hmm. After that, obviously was the Crash the Super Bowl contest, which was you shoot your own project and you submit it to Doritos, and from there, they'll determine if you will be on the Super Bowl. Side note, that idea is genius. I don't know why they stopped doing it. It was such a brilliant idea because A, you're giving people an opportunity to show their talent. B, people have to buy your product to shoot the commercial.
Yeah.
C, it's being advertised on the biggest platform of the year.
Yeah.
And it's bragging rights.
Yeah.
So when I shot it, didn't really think it was that big. So when you write something and you shoot, it's like, it's not gonna be it. After that, I went to another Dorito commercial for a whole different project. I was like, this the one. I will send you the link. I will send you the link of the one that I thought was the one.
Right. But then yours too.
Trash. Like when they sent it to me, I was like, y'all shot this on a Motorola Razr? What is that?
But so when I read that, I said, okay, so 2 things. 1, you are my first person from the Fast and Furious franchise on my platform. And 2, I feel like they're constantly bringing people back. We need to bring back your character. Your character can, because listen here, Ludacris and Tyrese's evolution in the Fast and Furious franchise, from working on cars to super spies who can also man a spaceship car. There's no reason why a club member, there's no reason why somebody who was just a background in the club can now be one part of the team. It's like, I feel like we can start this bring back. Did you have a character name?
No, it was a club. Like people were dancing, like, hey.
We can create that story, create that fan fiction story, start building that up, and bring you back into the Fast and Furious franchise. Because now I'm gonna start telling people, like, they wouldn't have, like, whatever the mission was in Fast and Furious 4. I'm like, if it wasn't for meeting Dion in the club, they wouldn't even did that. Like we're gonna start building that, like, that narrative, like you was the secret person that helped them accomplish their mission.
I was the reason. I was the one.
You was the one. So yeah, man, like I said, your commercial took off, like, and that was dope because it was like Super Bowl commercial, and like it wasn't like it was just like a quick one. Like you had lines, you were the main focus in it. You know what I'm saying? It was punchline. Like punchline and everything. Now, how many takes did the kid have to slap you?
So he's a 6-year-old kid.
Yeah.
So when the production is laughing,
he's going harder.
He's laughing. Yeah. I'm in character. He's laughing. He's looking at them like this the whole time. He's really slapping me, right?
Yeah.
So he's laughing with them, like, y'all like that? Y'all like that? But like, hey, you have to keep an angry face. So now to the point. There's a couple takes, so I'm gonna show you what happened. They had to show it to the side because I was like put it back, put it back, put it back, slap, put it back, slap. We had to keep doing that. Put it back, slap, put it back, slap, put it back. We had to keep doing that because he was laughing
too much. Yeah.
The take that they got, put it back. We submitted it like that, but you can see my face like saying, but the Super Bowl commercial, they cut out my face and it masked it so I wasn't moving.
Oh, okay.
So they looked out for me. But the original one, you see my face saying, put it back. Because he was a kid. He could not stay in character.
Right.
But face was red. But shout out to the editor because it happens so quick. Put it back. So quick.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that kid since. I'm in communication with his moms on Facebook. I would love to do like a little interview. I would love to bring him in just to chop it up with him, and
that'd be pretty dope. Or even just do like a follow up, like you come in eating some chips, and he look at you, you're like, not again.
Not again. I'm trying to figure out how can I make this to a sequel. How can I make it? Yeah.
So this is the Geek Set podcast, and we like to geek out. Now, I always like to learn people's nerd origin. Right. So what was the first property, the first thing that you really nerded out about?
So I'm not going to sit up here and act like I was in the comic books. Mm-hmm. Right. My first nerd experience invested was the Batman animated series and X-Men animation. So those are my first this is a great show. Not knowing, I knew they were comic books, but I didn't know they were like the show was following the comic books.
Okay.
So I just thought like this is just good TV right here.
Right.
and then when it went to the movies, I was like, oh God, they're doing it. They're doing it. Yeah. Of course, everyone loved Batman. But I think the cartoon was the thing that kind of pulled me into the MCU. Well, I would say Marvel Comics. And then kind of feeling sorry for the DC. I was like, wow, that's how they got Batman and Superman. I'm tired of hearing this Batman Superman story.
So now, it brings up a interesting question, because with you feeling that, your favorite DC character is Cyborg, that you said. So when did how did that transition?
Black guy. And
okay.
And I was always a fan of T2. They always had
makes sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. I this whole time I thought because I was Cyborg late. So I was like, oh, okay. Kano from Mortal Kombat. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they go do the whole cut face Terminator 2. I said, apparently everybody loves this. Oh, Cyborg. Okay. Cyborg. Okay. Everyone loves a half cut face. I like what you're doing there. I fucks with the black guy. I like that.
Yeah.
So I just kind of been attracted to him because he's just a dope ass black dude.
He is, because he's so important, because it's not just that he's a robot or half robot or robotic, but he's connected to it on a deeper level. Yeah. Where what I'm saying, he can understand it, he can manipulate it, he can go further than it. I tell people that all the time, Cyborg, and we talked about it on the Straight Outta Comic Book. I believe that if you're going to launch a Justice League, if you are not starting with Cyborg needs to play a major role in it because of all that he has, especially when you watch the shows like Justice League Unlimited and stuff like that, and you really see how connected he is with the Mother Box and technology and alien technology, because he is not just regular technology, it's alien technology that's embedded in him. So it's it is super dope to kind of with that aspect of it and everything.
Two things. I kind of feel like it shouldn't have been an origin story for the Flash in Justice League. I kind of feel like it should have been a TV show, and I'm sorry, because they already have a TV show. I would say for Cyborg, they should have a TV show, and it's really disturbing for the DCEU. Their first TV show is Peacemaker. It's right. Like, what? It's like, do they have any other shows that's connected to the universe?
Not really. Like I said, because like they have Doom Patrol and then they have Titan, but that's his own other world. Because like I said, that that in that Titan they have a Nightwing, they have Starfire, they have Raven and everybody from the Titan, but then they also have Superboy. But it's like none of this is connected to the DCEU. But that show is connected to Doom Patrol, because in that Doom Patrol they do have a Cyborg. And shout out to Joven Ray. Of those two, Titans and Doom Patrol, they have a connection.
That's what's up.
And
what character? Hold on. This is exciting. I might invest in this. What character crossover?
Well, so right now it's not necessarily crossed over. It's like they're related shows, so like they'll reference each other. Nothing has crossed over yet. I haven't watched this season of Titan, so I don't know if they did it yet. But it's like I interviewed Joven Way, who plays Cyborg in Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol is really good. Really? It is really good. Yes, it is really good. And Titan, like I said, it has pieces of it that's good. Like I like the Nightwing, I like the cat that plays Superboy, and I like the girl that plays Starfire. Raven's story is kind of like I don't know. It's like, so in Starfire's sister Blackfire is really dope. So it's like they have elements, but it's like it's not like, it's like, where are we going with this world if we're not bringing it into anything?
I never was a fan of the name Superboy, because it sounds very like, hey boy, hey man, I'm not a boy, I'm OJ Simpson. Oh, you an athlete? So I call you Superboy then.
I've never heard that take on Superboy.
Hey boy, come fetch me some water. Hey man, I'm OJ Simpson. I'm Jim Brown. Well, I call you Superboy.
So now getting into black characters, because now this is something that's always an interesting topic that I always like to look into, because one of the things that we love nerd culture, whether it's anime, comic book, video games, whatever the case may be. But then there's always that moment where you identify with the character, right? So like for me, it was the Black Power Ranger. Like even though he wasn't the lead, like when I saw a Black Power Ranger and he was the Black Ranger, just in general, like I was like, yo, like this is really dope. And then obviously Static, seeing Static Shock. So I want to know, like, what was the moment that you saw something, like you identified with something in nerd culture or something, like we saw like a black character, like, hey man, like that's the kind of like represented me.
I ain't gonna hold you, man. I to this day I'm gonna say Gambit was light skinned.
Hey, I'm with it, man. Hey,
he was light skinned with red hair.
He got that Creole. He got that Creole talking to him. Like,
hey man, I love Gambit with that jacket. He coming, hey, more than me. Hey,
yeah.
With that mouth, dude. I'm saying
Gambit was in that Sega game, that X-Men game. He was my go-to.
Yeah,
Gambit was one of my favorite characters. So I'm always mad that they're not doing him justice in any of the movies. And like in that Wolverine origin, I was like, all right, it's not really Gambit, but he's doing good enough where, like, if they was to expand on this character, I'm okay with it. Like the actor didn't do a bad job. I was not on board with old boy from Magic Mike playing him. Oh, not at all.
The guy John Carter, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But I know that he was cast to play him at first, and then that project went away. But when they announced
Channing Tatum,
Channing Tatum,
yeah.
I was like, no, I'm like, Channing Tatum to me is like he's a mistakenly funny actor. Like in 21 Jump Street, he was funny, and I'm like, I didn't expect this.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, like I can see him in that role. I could not see him in being Well,
how'd you like him in G.I. Joe? He wasn't funny, he was the main character.
So G.I. Joe, I kind of got like a love-hate relationship with it. Because I was excited for it. I liked the suits, but I just felt like it wasn't executed well.
Wasn't
And to
great.
me,
Wasn't a great
Marlon
movie.
was the best for me. I
Yeah.
was excited to see Marlon in that role because it was the first time. Well, not necessarily the first time, but it was one of the roles where he wasn't the butt of the joke, the goofy character that he
Right.
normally gets typecasted as, right? So to see him in that role, I was excited for that. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But it was like, yeah, it was like I got like a love-hate relationship with G.I. Joe.
So did you hear the whole story about G.I. Joe? Of they scrapped the whole movie and shot it again.
I think I did hear about that.
So this is going off of memory. This might sound really all over the place. So forgive me if this is not the right story. I kind of feel like how the movie originally ended. They started with the G.I. Joe retaliation. So they killed everybody and then said, I have to do a whole new team. So they shot the whole movie again with The Rock included.
No, I didn't know about. No, I definitely didn't know about
that. It was really bad because I think the original movie had like a lot of the new characters. Because if you watch it, you be like, oh, they brought everybody back, but like the first 10 minutes, and it was like they had like a weird like cutaway, like him like and it was like, and then go to a funeral like everyone is dead. But it was like the original movie could have just been like him just ducking down, like, oh, an explosion happened. And it could have went to a whole different scene. But it was like it faded to like they're dead. Now here's the new movie. And that new movie was just all over the place.
It was all over the place. Now I did not know the original story about that. That's crazy. But that's like they put The Rock in every. The Rock is pretty much in every franchise at this point. Now.
He hasn't failed, man. He's been Steph Curry in the league. I don't think he has any movie that he has flopped. Maybe that cruise ship movie. Was it something Disney?
I don't think that. Oh no, you know what? No, because kids love that because it's a whole ride and everything. So that's not going to flop. Here's the one flop I would say is his beginning, Scorpion King.
Oh, yes.
And that was his very first. And you can't count that because ever since then it's been a hit, like and everything like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then like I love that they're allowing him to be himself. I think when he was in Get Shorty and people saw like, oh wait, he is actually comedic. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he can be in a whole role. I feel like after that point, it was like, oh yeah, we invested in The Rock, right?
Do you remember the torch pass in The Rundown? No, not the movie. Not the movie. I mean, when I said the torch pass, the Arnold Schwarzenegger torch pass.
I know. Okay.
Movie Rundown.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, he's like, good luck. As in, like, hey, man, it's gonna be a wild ride.
Right.
This Hollywood ride is gonna be nice. Here we go.
So getting back to you and your blurredism, because one of the most interesting things about you that I found I think I found out a couple of months back though, is that you wrote 2 whole science fiction novels.
Yeah.
Yes. And I want to talk about that because what was the inspiration around that? Where did that come from? Yeah, man. There we go. Voyage of Truth, Part 1 and Part 2. So we're like, let's talk about the Voyage universe.
Yeah,
like what
I remember
where did that come
from? Where this came from, and back to my kids. So my daughter asked me at a very young age, how does the human body work?
Okay.
And I told her, I said, well, you have white blood cells in your body that are like a little army. And they will fight off and kill any sort of bacteria that enters your body. It's like a little unity, of your body. And then she was like, no. So she gave me that. She's like, how do you fight off sicknesses? I was like, well, your white blood cells in your body to kind of help, fight off bacteria. It's like, oh, like a little army. I was like, yeah, like a little army. And I was like, and then if you have like any sort of bacteria, it will eventually jump it and then push it out eventually. And that's how you kind of like get like phlegmy, your nose stop up. I'm saying all this stuff and shit. Like, and sometimes the virus or the bacteria is too powerful. You had to take some sort of medicine to help your blood cells. I'm telling her all this, and she kept asking questions. I started creating a world. What does that mean? So now I said to her, picture your body as like a ship. And if it stays by itself, it can be totally fine. But by any chance you exchange sort of like things in your mouth, your eyes, that's like bartering like equipment to other people. So I was like, you're exchanging stuff, and your white blood cells got to immediately fight it off. And she's like, what if one of the white blood cells wants to sneak off? I was like, well, if he sneaks off, he eventually going to be bacteria for another body, and they're gonna kill them. So she was like, what if? So she was like, so what happened with AIDS? I was like, ooh. AIDS gets in your body, it's gonna shake that, it's gonna sink that ship. So we're laughing, and I'm sitting there like, that is a foundation of a story. So my book is called Bartering. So like every ship has an origin of something they're good at.
Right.
Like we make vegetables here. It's like the Arvely ship makes vegetables. That ship over here makes dairy. That ship over there creates the electricity. So every now and then we have to exchange stuff, kind of bartering off stuff. Sometimes people sneak on. The person, some person on the ship was like, I kind of feel like we're slaves here, man. They're not paying us enough. We got to get out of here. And he snuck off because he felt like I was unappreciated. And he realized that, now I'm being attacked in different places. So now I'm running for my life, fighting for my life, trying to stay alive. And his whole mission is to get back to his home ship. But he keeps bartering on different ships, and he's getting his ass whooped. And so it's pretty much like coming back to appreciate what you have, in a nutshell. So yes, it's the story of white blood cells, and what if you try to sneak off, you're gonna become viruses.
Man, no, that's dope, man. Because I it has a basis of what but it's like it has like it's a story that if you read it and you didn't know the undertones, you'll still be wrapped up into the story. So then when you learn the layers of it, it's like one of those like, whoa, like what? And so, and I love writers. I'm so intrigued by writers, especially when they're able to take their property and then it blows up, right? So like I became a huge fan of Misha Green lately, and then seeing seeing Lovecraft come to fruition. I know that you are also a director, producer, and everything like that, and I know that you're constantly working on things with, aspirations, dreams. Like, would you want to see this brought to life on the
Hell yes. I originally wrote it as a script. But I figured if I have it as a book, I can possibly reach more eyes, build up a fan base, and with the sales, I could say, hey, Hollywood, I've sold 10,000 books. I have a little small fan base. Here's the script. That was the plan. I sold 2 books. No, I'm joking.
No, you sold way more than 2 books. But see, that's the thing, because right now, one of the things I constantly tell people, even when I created Geek Set, I said right now in today's world, if your property does not have hip hop elements or based off of like a novel or a graphic novel or anything like that, then like you are really fighting against the tides right now. There's not a lot of original products right now. The original products do though happen with, like I said, with oh, okay, I got an original idea and this may be it. But it's like a lot of the times if you have that book as the lore, it helps it out. It's what give Hollywood like, okay, we got something that we can base it off of, but we got this and everything like that. So like it's really dope in regards to that.
Yeah. And it takes a lot of discipline, man. Like I said, that during that time of me building my foundation, I wrote two books. I made a comedic CD, created 5 scripts, 2 TV shows. So now that I'm back in the front of the camera, it's like, hey, I'm ready. I got stuff.
Yeah.
I'm out my cocoon now.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Kanisha Bus, and I am the host of You Know About That.
I'm CT, and I'm your host for the evening. This show is not about record sales, net worth, or who's the greatest rapper of all time. It's about the culture of hip-hop and how much you know about it.
I'm going to read the question. Who is this?
C.
No, the answer is Rico
That's
Nasty.
Rico That's Grandmaster Flag.
Hey, little baby.
Who is this guy?
You look like a Bow Wow do-rag.
When BT get disrespected, he started doing evil jokes.
This next round is called Hip Hop Charade. Oh,
It's a toy. It is a toy.
with the toy?
You put it on your finger and you drop it.
Oh, he's the only one that I know that did that. She married to Papoose.
Oh! Oh, man.
He's really like a hype man.
His name is like something that you put in your ear.
He's the most popular rapper right now.
Jay-Z,
No, the most popular.
the most popular rapper.
Rapper with Lil Wayne all the time. And Nicki Minaj.
Oh, Kanye.
No, with Lil Wayne, Young Money.
No.
Are you serious?
No, hold on.
This last game is called the Lazy Choreographer.
Go.
Knees into your arm.
Whoa.
What is that dance called?
Oh, this one. Damn, roly, dab.
One teammate is the choreographer, and the other is the dancer. The choreographer will need you to describe the dance without moving.
So you going run in place. Really hard.
So the winner is whoever has the most money at the end of all of the rounds. You guys got it?
Got it.
All right. Multiple choice. Which rapper's real name is Khalif Brown?
D. Swizz Khalifa.
No, you are wrong. You guys can have a chance to steal.
Sleepy Brown.
No, the answer is Sway Lee.
Wait, that's his name?
I didn't know that either.
I literally thought it was like this.
Hey, what you know about that? Nothing.
Actually, I thought about that one too. Oh,
Right. And then we're in this space where like it's like we really are able to control our own content.
Right.
You know, you have, like I said, you have the studios, you have everything that you need to create, which you are doing. Like I said, you have right now, you have what is it, 2 shows on Caffeine? 2 shows on Caffeine that doing your thing and everything like that. So it is that it's like, yo, we are right now building, like we are having that opportunity to build stuff. And that's something that I think is really dope because like, you know, you have your hip hop trivia show, which I'm letting you know, I want to be on that show.
Let's go. Absolutely.
I have so much knowledge of hip hop trivia. Like one of my dream like collab podcasts that I want to do is I want to do a podcast with me, Tahir, CP, and Tony Baker.
They love hip hop.
They love hip hop. I'm talking about because we all got an affinity love for 90s hip hop. You know, like we can go in depth about Crucial Conflict, and we can talk about, you know what I'm saying? Like we can talk about Tila, we can talk about Lupe, we can go in depth, and I've heard them on multiple things. So I'm like, one of these days I'm gonna get that collective together and make that happen. But it's like, you know, a hip hop trivia show is such a dope concept because there's so many hip hop heads. I mean, obviously you, CP, you know what I'm saying, Keisha Buzz. Like the fact that one of her jokes is that, like, look, I know they say that a kid is supposed to be the most joyous time in your life. But for me, I got to rap on stage with Bone Thugs and Harmony. She ain't got nothing to get. She ain't got, like, I'm just like, that right there is a hip hop head because you have that moment of, yo, I'm rapping with Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yes. Every lyric.
Every lyric. So, you know, with that hip hop trivia show and how dope it's been going, what is the, like, where do you want to see this go? What is the plan with this?
Bigger budget, lights, I want an actual artist to host. I love to produce it. I want a team of writers to have those like tricky questions. I don't like I don't like questions when it's like process of great elimination, educated guesses. Like I want to have like 4 similar looking people on the screen and be like, who is this? Like, you know, ooh, they all look alike. Oh my God. I want that. So because I know names, I don't know a lot of faces. Because like when it comes to new artists, I want to do the like if we was on ABC, TNT, TBS, NBC. Now we have a budget. Now I can get some hip hop heads. Our games are more intricate. Our games has more sound effects and references. We can pay for licensing. We can play more games. I want it bigger. Like I said, I had to be smart and strategic with certain games because, like, I if you play certain music, it will get flagged. Yeah, so I couldn't. Yeah. I had to be, creative on how to play certain games, and I can have like some sort of historian that be like, yeah, Tupac is not considered East Coast. When
right, because of
right. We had that discussion of like what's considered South. Is DC considered the South? Because we had the list of like South rappers, and they had said Pharrell, and they was like, Pharrell's not from the South. It's like Virginia's from the South. It's like, no, he's really on the East Coast. So that was like a determination,
and that's always a big debate for me too, because I'm like, I always say that because like all my life I equated Virginia to the East. But a lot of the times it was because of the artists. Like the clips don't sound like Southern artists.
Absolutely.
So it's like that. But then people are like, no, Virginia is the South. And I'm like,
it don't even make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I never did. But the same thing, but in the end, like I said, when you talk about artist origins, like Ludacris is really from
Chicago.
But he reps Atlanta hard as hell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it is that, you start realizing like, certain people, like, you know what I'm saying? But then it's like also certain people adopt sounds, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you'll have like an artist, like a writer like Rico Love, who's from Milwaukee, but he gets equated to with the South because he's always in Atlanta and everything like that, So like you have these artists and I think for the most part, I think it's Midwest artists who gets adopted to a different coast.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, like, okay, outside of if you're from Chicago, or Detroit, everything else is considered everywhere else. And sometimes Detroit even gets pulls to the East Coast. People will say Eminem is an East Coast rapper. People will say Nelly is a down South rapper. He's from the Midwest. He's from St. Louis, Right. But I think it's because our sound reaches in so many ways. If you didn't know anything about an area, and I told you Bone Thugs and Harmony, Lupe Fiasco, Kanye West, Nelly, and Eminem is all from the same area, you'll be like, that makes no sense. Like these sounds are way different. But it is because we have a gumbo pop. But I think that's why Midwest also, we love so much of hip hop in a full. Because we never had that moment. Like you got to think it was East versus West. The South felt outcasted, so there was them versus the whole world. Right. there was them against the whole world. Right. For the most part, the Midwest, we just consumed everything. We got love for the South, for the East, for the West. So we have a gumbo pot of taste in our music. And I think that because of that, we are like the middle child that gets overlooked. It's like the Midwest is there. We always had our imprint in hip hop, but it's like nobody ever said, oh shit, the Midwest is a defining force in hip hop. Right. It's always either South, West, or East.
Let me ask you this though. You have to choose between East or West. You in the Midwest, you right in between. If you had to choose between East or West, and whatever you choose, the other one don't exist at all, which one would you choose?
I'm choosing East because East influenced me the most. There was a point between like my junior and senior year where I was faking a New York accent. I wanted to be from New York so bad.
We gotta hear it. We gotta hear it, bro.
No.
Come on, man. For the culture. Come on, hip hop.
And then, like I said, Hove is my GOAT. Like I look at Jay-Z as the greatest of all time. Like that Rockefeller era, because growing up, I wanted to be like Twista. So when I first started writing raps and everything like that, I wrote in double time. So that was my skill set. My cousin Bergie Streets, who I do music with, he was always influenced by like Bad Boy and Rockefeller. You know what I'm saying? So like when we was a duo, it was like I'm bringing like the melodies, the vibes, because I'm, when you rap double time, you got to rap on a beat wise. Yeah. And he was the lyricist. But where I'm like, oh man, people like, yo man, he killing it double time. I'm looking at him like, dang man, the way he uses his words and stuff. So I started slowing down writing my raps, and I got so influenced by East Coast that now with me being able to rap double time, I was like, okay, I got the double time skill set, but now I'm not just saying words that have multiple syllables and go together. I want to make sure that when you slow it down what I'm saying, it's bars. Yeah, so it is that. So it's like, and to me, that I equate a lot of that to consuming East Coast rap, because once I got put on the East Coast, I went down that rabbit hole of just really just going, finding artists from there, loving that. The mixtape scene, the battle rap scene, like I started falling in love with all of that. And though I do love Pac and do I love Kendrick and TDE and everything that they're doing, Nip, it's just like East Coast had so much of an influence on me in life that I was like, I wouldn't be able to cut that out.
You know what's funny about when people say the greatest of all time? You think about things that you're doing is great, meaning it's hard for other people to do. Mm-hmm. Like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had a skyhook. He mastered it that people couldn't block. They couldn't block. Mm-hmm. There was a time where he was dominating in the paint. It's hard to stop. No one can't do this. So when you take that idea of I'm doing something that you cannot create, I always think about I don't know why Twista is not higher on the greatest of all times, because it is so I rap. I can't even fathom how to figure that out. I know you like you're doubling your words, you're using a lot of syllable words, but it's like I can't understand how to create something. Yeah. So it's like you see Steph Curry shooting threes, like how is he doing this? How?
So here's the thing about Twista, and this is what I learned and what I love about Twista and Bone. And I don't know if they write this way, but when I was trying to emulate them and trying to be like them and stuff like that, I would come up with the melody on how I wanted to sound first, right? So if somebody gave me a beat and I'm listening to it, I'm like, all right, how do I want this to sound? Because it's like, if I'm already rapping fast, it's like, how do I want this to sound? So like, if you think like Twista had this song called Victory or Death off of the Speed Not Mobsters album, right?
Baby.
Right. Yeah. And so, when you listen to that flow, it goes, he says, Shot Town's murder with mob, got it hard not to give me the motherfucking ammunition, I cock it, right? So you hear it go, right? So when I'm listening to a beat and I'm going to, I'm like, all right, what melody do I want to go? I want to go, like I start figuring it out, and then I start inputting the words into it. But I'm like, okay, what do I want to say? Right. So I'm like, all right, what if this topic is, right? So I started writing like that, and then I started being able to get really good at it, right? But then where I started testing myself, and this is even what I do now, and this is why like I stand by my bars, I stand by my music, is because when I write something so that way I can know it in all elements and perform it the best way, I'll write something to the original beat, and then I'll play a shit ton of instrumentals, and I'll rap that same verse, changing the cadence, changing how I say it, slowing it down, because I'm like, okay, if I know these words, then I know how to manipulate them in the ways that I want to. Because some people forget when you're rapping and you're rhyming, especially when you're rhyming fast, you may stretch a word, or you may shorten a word, or you may cut up a word, right? And it goes into it, So it's like, oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. So it's like Twista, it was so much of a science to what he did that anytime somebody brings up about a GOAT, I bring him up all the time. When somebody says a flawless album back to back, I tell people Adrenaline Rush. But here's why I love Adrenaline Rush, and it's the same reason why people love Good Kid, Mad City. And this is what I tell people. I said, when you listen to Good Kid, Mad City, if you are not from Compton, that takes you on that ride on a day in Compton.
Yeah.
You feel that story. When I listened to Adrenaline Rush, I felt like it was a day in Chicago.
Yeah.
I felt like he took me on a journey. And so when I did my first solo album, my Unapologetic Black Thoughts, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to bring people on a journey of the thoughts of a Black man dealing in today's world, where a Black man who I because of what's going on, I became militant. But I don't want to just fight. I do want peace. But I also want to address the interracial divide and hate that we have within our own culture. And I said, the mind of a Black
album out? I got to listen to the album, brother.
I got multiple albums, bro. You know, like I said, yeah, man. I'm an artist. You know, that's it's funny because I did a poll probably like a month ago on Twitter. I said, what do you guys know me from? Do you know me from music? Do you know me from podcasting? Or do you know me from both? And right now, like I said, podcasting is a little bit more, but like I'm the first Milwaukee artist that was in the Source magazine. I had a full page spread in Ozone magazine. I was on All Hip Hop, The Source. I was in XXL. I got music with Mickey Facts, Trade of Truth. I got music and music videos and everything else. There's so many layers to me that a lot of people don't know. And I was like, I can't wait. But that's what I keep on telling, like, and that's why I'm like, oh man, you know me, I'm trying to jump more into this creator space and collab with more people. So when you BT and Doe did the music video, I'm like, bro, I want to be in. Bring me in. You know, I be telling Will Ferrell all the time, like, get me on the album, bro.
I don't see why we can't. I can't see why the three of us can't. Or CT doesn't rap, but I don't see why the three of us don't have send a song that we all hop on.
I mean, I can beats every day, man. Because I'm still currently writing. Like my last album I put out last year called All I Ever Wanted Was an Opportunity, you know, and that was my album. That was my album telling my life story of growing up in the middle. So one of the things that I love about like artists like J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar is that these artists they wasn't the big time gangster and they wasn't the big time drug dealer, but they grew up in the hood, so they're able to tell that perspective of it. And I say there's more people like that in this world. Like everybody wasn't fucking Big Meech and everybody wasn't the biggest gangster toting the gun, but we all have those experiences where it's like, look, I was there. People ain't looking at me as a punk because I wasn't selling drugs or I wasn't, but it's like I was on the block with the people. And I can tell this story. So I tell that story because like growing up, my mom's side, I had cousins that were vice lords. On my dad's side, I had cousins that were GD. You know what I'm saying? Boy. So it's like, you know, growing up, yes, I tried to sell drugs. I realized I wasn't about that life. I told y'all that on Straight Outta Comic Book. I wasn't about that life, but I was like, I wanted to tell that story because people don't talk about that. Every artist, when you hear about them selling drugs, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I had pounds on deck. I was doing this. I'm like, no, being a drug dealer is not the lifestyle that you think. I'm not about that life because it's annoying.
The funny thing is I tried to sell drugs is hilarious. That right there is hilarious. That's an album cover. That's an album title. I tried to sell drugs.
I tried. So on my album, I said it. The exact line I said, I sold dope about a week. I was trying to push these pills, but niggas was telling me like, Deuce, you ain't about this life for real. You should go and use your skills. Niggas listen when you talk on this mic. Niggas hear you like a pit bull when he bark. Like that's exactly what I said on it because I was like, I'm telling y'all, this is the life that like you may think that you're gonna jump right into it, but you're not.
So you say your album is called All I Ever Wanted Was an Opportunity?
Yep.
I gotta listen to it, man. I love it.
Yeah, definitely, man. Check that out. Check that one out and my Unapologetic Black Thoughts.
I love it, man. Hey,
man, yeah.
I love it.
That's the multi-hyphenated. Like, you know what I'm saying? You start looking at it like, you know, and that's one of the things that, you know, when I found out that you were a production assistant on Wildin' Out, and I'm like, bro, I've been doing multiple podcasts with Dion Lack. Wildin' Out is my background show, meaning that it is always on for like no matter what I'm doing. That is my default show. And I'm like, so to be to tell me that Dion Lack worked on some of these episodes that I'm watching, I'm like, bro. And the only reason I found out, and this is where I really went down the hole. I'm going down, I'm doing my research, and I said, oh, Dion Lack got a Wildin' Out shirt. He probably caught it from somewhere. Then I'm going down and said, man, he got a lot of fucking Wildin' Out shirts. I was like, wait a minute. I said, now I gotta figure something out here. I said, oh shit, he worked on Wildin' Out, man.
Yeah, at a time I had about 30 shirts, and then I wear one to sleep, and then because it's so comfortable. And then my daughters use like 2 of them as like a gown.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that was it was a time. It was a time where Nate Jackson, Doughboy, Shantae Wayans, we were all my friends were on the show. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like, and Clayton was a writer.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the same year. So yeah.
Yeah. So what was the funniest moment that you had on set, Wildin' Out?
Funniest moment. This has been told numerous times on other podcasts, but your boy Doughboy is feeling himself, and we all watched him try to get a joke off. It didn't work, and then he was on Nick Cannon's team, and then Nick Cannon was like, all right, I got him, Doe. So, hey, yo, Doughboy snatched the mic out of Nick Cannon's hand. Everybody was like, he snatched the mic out of his hand again. Flat. It was the Wild Style joke.
Okay.
Flat. He looked at him like the face of this will be your last show. Sure enough, he did not get back any more shows.
And see, and like I said, Nick Cannon tolerate a lot. You know what I'm saying? So like at that point, you really had to irk him. But you know what? Watching, I got a chance to interview Timothy Chantarangsu, and just hearing and just watching people talk about Wildin' Out, like that stage is not as easy as people think it is.
Yeah.
And in Milwaukee, we got a really great podcast collective. Like there's so many podcasts here, and we're all so close. So we did a version of Wildin' Out called Poddin' Out. And luckily to my stage presence and everything like that, that helped me be more confident. Like I said, I've been doing music and everything like that. So like, and watching Wildin' Out so much, I knew what to get into, right? Because one of the things that Timothy Chantarangsu said, he was like, where a lot of people fail at is that they are always looking for the get back. And he was like, no, you got to be able to, when a joke hits, you live with that joke. Like you have to, like, you can't be always trying to, like, if you crack a joke with me, I got to get Dion back real quick, because then now you kind of forcing the joke. You kind of like, and so you got to be funny. He was like, yeah, I'm going to get the Asian jokes. So I just make sure that I have enough jokes for other people that when it comes back around and is my goal, then he was like, I'm gonna live with the Asian joke. I'm gonna let you get it off. If the crowd's laughing, good. But then when it comes back around, finally, I got other jokes. But he's like, yeah, he was like, Doughboy was good at taking the fat jokes. So it's like whatever happened in that moment where he was like, I got to get it back. It was like that. It was like you should have stuck to the plan. Yeah. So it's like doing that in when we did the Poddin' Out version of it, it was that. I'm like, all right, I know I got a big head. Niggas gonna get my head. I'm like, cool, all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna live with that joke. But it was like, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, all right, where am I gonna shine? I know I'm gonna shine in the Wild Style. I know I'm gonna shine if we do the kick them out the classroom. Like I started figuring out like what skits I'm gonna shine in. So I was like, look, I'm gonna let people get them jokes off in this moment, but this moment is where I'm gonna shine, where it's not gonna seem forced, but I'm prepared for it and everything like that. So it's like Wildin' Out is really dope. As a comedian, and this is where I want to ask you, And next time you're on Daddy's Issues, bring this up because I want to get there. I've been asking this in the chat for the longest, and they skip over it. I get it; they got a lot of club. But there was a comedian who said that Wildin' Out right now is on par with creating celebrities just as big as In Living Color.
Yeah, I agree. It's a great credit. It's because when you say he was on Wildin' Out, that's enough to say, oh, this is a huge show.
Yeah.
People to this day, you know, I don't know. I know Billy's still using it, like like Billy Sorrells, Nate Jackson, Doughboy, like all these. That's a great credit because it's still active, and it's like, you know, it's just as equivalent as like America's Got Talent. Yeah. Because you know you can put on flyers, man. Like, oh, he was on Wildin' Out. Like, you know, it shows that I'm a comedian that I've surpassed the playoffs. I'm in the league now. You know what I'm saying? So it's a great credit. I couldn't do it, man. I just I don't know. Like, even though I rap, I'm not a bagger, you know?
Okay.
And
you know what? That makes sense. Like I said, because even on stuff that you are on, you don't necessarily roast back.
No.
You're great at taking a roast.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily roast back. Wait a minute. This is, again, another research moment. So, watching Squadcast, obviously, you know what I'm saying? They said you're easy to draw, right? Yeah. But my thing is this, I was like, why is Dion acting shocked? Because on your Instagram, there's multiple pictures that you posted, like, hey, guys, like in your joking way, like there's been animations that look like you. There's been commercials of people that look like you. It's like, there's a lot of default elements of you that is there. I was like, Dion shouldn't have been shocked at that in that moment.
I mean, I have to soup it up for it's entertaining, you know? What are you talking about? I'm not. What are you talking? So that's a good soundbite. I had to, you know, somebody throw you alley-oop, you got to slam that mug. Because I know eventually one of these things is going to be a soundbite.
Yeah, because just like when I had to tell you, I said, Dion, do you know that your sound is going crazy on TikTok? And I remember when I first saw it, because I saw your original skit on Instagram, right? And I was like, man, that's hilarious. And I just remember watching, I see this guy, and he got millions of views. And he was like, what? Fired? I said, that's Dion Lack. And I was like, I'm looking in the comments, I'm like, he ain't even crediting him on this. And I was like, what the heck?
It's a dog world out here, man. Let me tell you something. I got so many videos viral. I'm nowhere to be found.
You do, man.
Not a tag, not a shout out to or credited by. They are just like, thank you. But
you're what? That's kind of like a catchphrase now. Like the way you hit that what? Like, I think that is dope. I think eventually people, and because I feel like that's happening now. I feel like more and more people are finding out about you in general. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's a collective of, like I said, a lot of your peers are like really shouting you out. But it's like, I like how when they shout you out, it's not just a post. It's not just a repost. It's like, yo, I don't even know how Dion thought of this. Like, it's the same elements of like how people view Pat. Like when Pat posts his skits and stuff like that, it's like, who even thinks of that? And it's like, it's drop dead funny, right? So it's same as you. It's like, is when you see the stuff, it's like, wait, what? Like, wait. But I think more and more people are catching on to it. Like, yo, but here's the thing that I give you a testament of time. And we got 2 more segments and I'll get you out there. I know, but I found your old YouTube page and I'm looking at it and I'm like, Dion has always thought like this because one, Paralyzed Perry at me cracking up, but then the toilet paper dealer, when he was in the school, he was like, I got 2 ply. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, all freestyle, man. Yeah, that was mad fun. Yeah,
but I'm like, and again, you didn't remove anything. You kept all that up.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like I said, always been there. I think the two things that you just mentioned, I wasn't the production. So
Oh yeah, you can tell that was like that camera was not the best camera at all.
Right.
That was a potato, but it was still funny. It's still hit.
You know what I'm saying is like I was at that time shooting for other people. When I'm doing everything, my creativity depletes because I'm thinking about how's the lighting, how's the shooting.
Right. Yeah.
So now my character is dropping. Now my creative juices of what can I say and do to make this funny, it drops. So when I'm doing like squad cast, daddy issues, they're like, I don't care what's about to happen. This is not my platform. Right. When it comes to me, I'm like, what?
You over obsess over it. Like you, and then like I said, we're our own enemies because like I said, so even with 1-on-1 and with Deuces, you know, like I become a perfectionist of it. Like I put so much into the intros. Like I from front to back, everything about this show I've created. You know, from the intro to the music to the way it looks to the feel of it. You know, like every season that I do, it's mirrored off of a video game, right? You know, when I first did it, my first 2 seasons of it, it was just I wanted to have it look different from just the regular Zoom screens, right? So I created this layout. But then I was like, ooh, I want to go different, right? So then the first one I called it my Street Fighter Alpha. So when you look at it, it kind of mirrors Street Fighter Alpha. The logo changes a little bit, you know, and the intro and the feel of it. The next one I did was a Mortal Kombat inspired one, right? So it starts off with that darkness. It has like the same character select like a Mortal Kombat. Then the other one I did last season was Killer Instinct. I did one of that. And then this one is based off of the Injustice video game series. So when you see the intro and how it does it, the characters, because I do a character select each one. So it's like before the intro, it's going to be me, and then somebody's like, it goes through the whole ding, 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 choose your fighter, and it's going to choose you. Like, but it's like I created that because I said everybody is doing virtual interviews. So what is going to be my niche? You know, what is going to be my thing, right? And I was like, even though, you know, the max we're doing what 2,500, 3,500 views per episode. When it catches on, it's going to be one of those things where people are going to go back like, yo, I didn't like, it's like these Easter, it's like, oh my God, he's doing that. Oh, wait, he did that. Like, it's like, you know, so it's like we over obsessed with it. Whereas like, there's a lot of people like, man, I just do the interview on StreamYard to throw it up, or I just do it on Zoom and throw it up. Right. So I can relate to when you are in that moment, like when you're doing it, like, you know what I'm saying? You're in, like, that's how I view Straight Out of the Comic Book. I don't have to do much, you know? I was like, I just show up,
baby. I'm just showing up.
You know, working, you know, I started doing things with Watch Mojo, and to me, I'm like, it's the funnest, easiest job because where I don't have to do the editing, I don't have to do. All I am doing is providing the voice to the list. I don't even have to write the list.
I want to give you my flowers, man. That is a huge platform. When I say I was super proud of you, I'm still proud of you. I seen it, I filmed it, I posted it, and I was like, man, this is a huge opportunity, and I can't wait to what the future holds for you, man.
I appreciate that. That's the one thing. Our collective, man, and I say our collective now because, you know, it took me a while to get to the point where I can be like, hey, I'm with y'all now. You know what I'm saying? Because for the longest, and I think that it's in my head trying to figure things out, right? Because prior to the pandemic, I knew nobody. I was just Deuces from Milwaukee. I didn't know Dion. I mean, I didn't know CT, Will, anything like that. But what I did was I was fans of y'all. So I'm like, let me interview people. And I started interviewing people, getting them on my platform, building with them, but letting people know, like, hey, I want to do more stuff, you know. And then Tahira brought me on Zooming with the Homies. And then Will started bringing me on Straight Out of the Comic Book. And even when we started doing that, I don't know if y'all even noticed the energy shift, but like, I was like, oh man, I'm a fan with these people. Like that's those first few episodes, that's how I felt. Then to a point where I was like, I feel like I can rely on y'all. If I needed something, I can hit you up, or I can hit CT up, or I can hit Will up. And I was like, okay, I think I can consider myself part of the collective, you know? And I felt like, so it's like, it is that. So now I draw even more inspiration from y'all because I see y'all creating. And I'm like, yo, man, this is dope. They got this show on Caffeine. Oh my God, this show is so dope. Oh man, look at they doing. Oh man, Dion hitting the streets. I mean, I always wanted to hit the streets and ask people questions. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, so it's like, you know, I love that we are get inspiration from each other in regards to that. So even with you saying that about that, I'm like, yo, this is me just trying to do some stuff. I'm like, yo, hey, I got a kudos from Dion. Like that means a lot to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because of that,
it's huge. It's huge, bro.
Yeah.
I'm super proud of you, man. Like once you get to a point where you like when you say, and I just got here. When you say to yourself, "I'm him," that's it. Because the thing is, I would say like a year ago, you're saying to yourself, "I want more people to know who I am." But it's like, no, you have to have that shift of, "I'm him. I'm just out. I'm in the crowd."
Yeah.
Like so when the opportunity comes, raise your hand. I'm him.
Yeah.
A lot of times people, first of all, everyone is looking for talent.
Mm-hmm.
People are lazy. When I say I need somebody to come into my show to do the in-person podcast for my hip hop show on Tuesdays, I go to Instagram, scroll, first person I say, oh, he can do it. I'm not thinking of who's the most talented person.
Right.
I'm thinking of, oh, easy work. Call him up.
Yeah.
Hit him up. Lazy. So when you get to a point of it's like you're being pulled in so many different directions. Like, okay, I forgot I am him. I am that person.
Yeah.
Like don't ever feel like I need to get further up because you're already there. You're just looking for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Because soon as one person say yes, everybody's gonna be like, who's this? Young Deuces. Where he's been this whole time? Oh, let me interview him then. And now that shift is gonna happen immediately.
Yeah, no, like I said, I feel like, you know, I tell people all the time, I'm like, man, a lot of people was impacted by the pandemic in a negative way.
Right.
And I'm like, it's been nothing but up for me. And I was like, you know, and I'm like, it feels bad saying that because I'm like, people have legit trauma that they dealt with. And I'm like, but I got nothing but positive things to say. I met a whole culture of people and a group of people that are now part of my like, you know. So, all right, we got 2 more segments and we get you out of here. Top 5. I always got to do top 5. Now, with you being with your hip hop show, I got to get, what is your top 5 albums? Caveat, it does not have to be in order and it can be currently.
Top 5 albums. Damn it. Hate you, Deuce. I really hate you, man. You're exposing me. Because the thing is, there's a difference between favorite rappers and then favorite albums.
Well, that's why I said it could be currently. That's why I always give the caveat. It doesn't have to be all time. It can be currently. What are your top 5 albums?
I love 1792.
Oh, hey, a lot of people don't bring that one up. Woo! Hey, every time I go back to that one, I'm like, yo, it's so like fucking with my dough is like.
Hey,
I love that album so much.
Album slipped on. Life After Death.
Ooh.
Adrenaline Rush.
Mm-hmm.
Albums. Wow, I always go to. Word of Mouth.
Ooh.
That's at 5 or that 4?
Adrenaline Rush, Life or Death, Jermaine Dupri, Word of Mouth. One more. These are some solid ass choices, by the way. I just want to let you know.
So because nobody's gonna agree with this one. But I think, and I gotta get a disclaimer before I say this. You know how like your phone just like, hey, this is an album that you played a lot. Like, you want to play it now? Like, yeah, absolutely. So I think I play this one a lot, and it's very new. Music to be Murdered By.
Oh. That is a random out of the four, and then that.
You know who that is?
Ain't that Eminem?
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Yeah. So I know because it's new. It's his latest album, and I remember listening to it. I was like, this dude hasn't skipped a beat. I like Kamikaze. But I like the growth in this album of Music to be Murdered By. And he has a line that said, dude, why didn't I not think of this? I love when there's bars, when it's the same word, and he flips to the same word.
Yeah.
He said, it's crazy that my literature got me a little richer.
Yeah. Yeah.
and is another one is like I can't think of it. It's something like. So, go ahead.
I'm gonna give you one. This is a throwback Deuces bar, but one of my favorite bars. The same thing. I said, I'm so paid. I'm so paid. I'm so paid. I would say I was broke, but I'm so paid. I can't really. No. Wait, hold on. No. What's that? I said, my chain so yellow it's orange like it's OJ. I walk out. I get a case and walk out like I'm OJ. And then I said, the go-to fourth quarter winning like the OJ.
Yay! Come on, another one.
I was trying to think. Oh man, I wish I could. But yeah, that was one of my. I was like, because I was like,
I love the same word.
I love that. Yeah, the same word. I was like, yeah. So that
I wrote one yesterday. I haven't put it. Hold on, it's the same word. It's silly. Let me try to find it. You know how you try to set up for the rhyme?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, it was something like other Beamer. I'm sucking titties, toes, and everything. Butterfinger. I got, if I go with this, I got my finger in her butt. I call that Butterfinger. I was trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out ways how to say, like, keep saying Butterfinger. Everything Butterfinger.
Yeah, but it's like, but you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it is that once you get that word that you can flip multiple times, it's like, oh yeah, you snapped on that one. All right, so we got recommendations. It could be something that you're watching, you're reading, you're listening to, but something that you think our listeners should check out.
Woo! I just watched something that I was really excited about. I just watched something. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is. It's something that you think.
Ooh.
Okay, there we go.
On Hulu, if you like a comedy, it caught me by surprise. It is a chef's kiss to anybody in production. The show Reboot.
You know what? You're the second person that told me about that. I'm gonna have to check this out.
Man, it is, and as a writer, because it's everything we go through.
Yeah.
And it's just a great show, by the way, by on its own. It's a great show on its own, but it does all those elements of like rewrites and recast, and she's not acting as the ratings are low. What are we gonna do? It's everything what we like, relationships on set versus your relationship in real life. Sex scenes in the show, getting an erection. I mean, it is a nod and an ode to anybody who's wrote anything,
and I think that
been on set.
Yeah, I one of the things that drew me to it, because once somebody explained the premise to me of that, I said, of course Keegan Michael Key would be a part of this. This is like, I feel like that's his story, or because he's a writer as well and stuff like that. So it's like, it is that, like, that would be dope. So yeah, I'm gonna check it out, because like, you are the second person that told me about it. And I'm like, the premise sound so dope. So I have a recommendation for you that I want to give you. And I don't know if you watch anime at all, but it's similar to your book. And it's this anime out called Cells at Work. If you ever get a chance, watch it. It's pretty much Osmosis Jones on anime. Like the person, the body itself doesn't have a character at all, but you're dealing with white blood cells, and you see everything. Like everything is a thing. Like when cancer comes into the body, it's like an anime fight. So it's not like it's like it's a villain. And so they got to deal with, like, oh my God, but they go into it, like they talk about, like, like the funniest episode was, there was an episode that I guess the body was going through puberty, and so he had to bust one off. So they had to explain how the cells work to help get that off.
Oh,
but then,
my God.
But he was having erectile dysfunction. So they also had the villains come in who were causing the erectile dysfunction, and then so they're going through this whole battle and everything. But then he pops, I don't know what pill, but let's say it's a blue chew. So then they was like, oh, we got backup now. They kind of go.
No, this is my. Well, it's not my. I'm not so literal. But
this one is literal. This one is literal. This, like, they call it like that's, but I feel like you would get a kick out of that anime.
I'm gonna watch that mug right now. When I get off the phone, when I get off with you, I'm watching that mug right now. I'm excited.
Yes, Cells at Work, bro. Watch it. It's a hilarious anime. So where can my people find you, and what would you like them to support you on?
Hey, man, I can say find me on all platforms. Dion Lack, DionLack. If you want to follow my business, it would be Lactose ENT, toast like the bread, ENT. Anything that I have, all the things I have going on right now, I would say in the next 3 weeks, please watch and support my hip hop trivia show on Caeffine, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you miss it, you can go back and watch the other 3 episodes. There's a link in my bio. You can watch, catch up. Hosted by CT and Kanisha Bus. Please watch it. Please watch it. If I get some high numbers, they will definitely get a season 2.
Hey,
get a bigger budget. Can't go wrong with that. And purchase the sci-fi novel on Amazon, Voyage of Truth. Have volume 1 and volume 2, and I also have an audiobook of volume 1, which I'm also had a request of. I needed a voiceover actor to do volume 2. The thumbs up dance. But yeah, please support those 2 things. If you want to put money in my pocket, definitely support by buying the book. Yeah. But viewers, just clicking on the link, please watch.
And I'll put it in I'll make sure it's in the comments and everything. I mean, in the description and everything, so they can do it. Also, go on Twitter, use the hashtag Bring Dion Lack Back to Fast and Furious. Like, we're gonna get that campaign rolling. Get that campaign back rolling. But anyways, man, I've been your boy Deuces. This has been the multi-talented, the amazingly hilarious, and the super dope Dion Lack. And this has been the only place that blend hip hop culture and geek culture together. And we are out. Peace.
Woo! Love it. My God.